Bom dia, good morning guys. It is a cozy winter day here. It's very overcast. We have a lot of rain on the way, but for today it's staying dry. It's just me for the moment. Jack is having a nap and Iwan is at the physio. Thank you for all your well wishes and words of advice as well on last week's video. He has sciatica and scoliosis, but yeah, we're seeing a bit of an improvement this week, which is very hopeful because yeah, these things can take a long time to heal, and yeah, we're hoping it's fixing. You're a silly boy. Are you a silly boy? I thought today I would give you all an update on our off-grid system for the winter. This is now our 6th winter here. I cannot quite believe it, and even though it's very imperfect, I just thought I would give a very realistic rundown of how we're making things work here. We're off-grid for everything: electricity, water, sewage. We live in the middle of an olive field, so our main reason is just we wanted to live very secluded in this beautiful place, and that means we have to make everything work for ourselves. And I think we're finally, I would say, comfortable. We can be warm and dry and power the things we need to, and have a hot bath, which is very different when I look back to our first winter here. Yeah, I just thought I would give a rundown. I did reach out to Bluetti and ask if they wanted to collaborate with us on this video because I'm going to be talking about them so much anyway. Our whole electrical system is Bluetti, so I'll show you what we use from them for the electrics. Hi. Are you going to help? And you're going to help too? Firstly, seeing as it is here, I thought I would show you the way we heat this room is with the log burner. That made the most sense as the heat source for this room. It's a stone building and it's very cozy with the fire. Actually, it gets too hot and we sometimes have to have the door open. And actually this year we've been using, rather than getting a big wood delivery, we've been using these, and it's just wood compressed into these blocks, and it burns really well. It's super dry, and we didn't want to get a big wood delivery. We normally go through 3 big wood deliveries each winter because it does get really quite cold here. The nights have been dropping just below 0. I know for some people that's not really cold, but for here, compared to the 40-degree heat of summer, that's quite a big difference. So that's worked really well for us. We started doing it at the end of last year, and we just buy the boxes from the shop, and we've not had to stack all the wood and store that. And also we always found the 3rd delivery towards the end of winter would always be a bit damp and wet, and wouldn't burn as well. So this is a wasted resource, so it feels really good to be using that. Yeah, we don't have a woodland or anything on our land to have our own wood for burning. We save some of the offcuts from when we do the olive pruning. We've got that stored to dry over the summer, so we do, if we can, keep a bit of our own wood, but yeah, otherwise we're buying in wood. So this is working quite well. It's very cozy here. This is Diogo's favourite spot. He struggles more with the cold than Frankie because she's got this big fur and he has not very much, so yeah, he gets really cold. She doesn't as much, plus she's very fat, so that keeps you warm too, Frankie. So yeah, I'll show you our electrical setup in here and the water system that we have too. It's always a bit of a challenge to film in this room because the light's really weird. In here we have this big setup. This is the AC 500. We have 3 batteries under there. We can actually add 3 more, but we don't have the space, and our plan is actually to get this out of this room. We're going to be building a utility room shed space, but this has worked super well for us. It powers everything in here: the fridge, the air fryer, our toaster, the lights in here. We haven't had this room properly wired up. In fact, this room is getting completely redone actually. That is the plan because of the roof needs to come off, and yeah, we have big plans for this space and then it will get wired in properly like we have done in our cabin. But for now we just use, there's loads of plugs on the front, we plugged in a few extension leads to that, and yeah, we just have made it work for us in here in the kitchen. I think one thing with being off-grid is always to have backups for each thing that you use. For example, our oven is gas, so we can use that when we don't have much electricity. We have the air fryer that we use when we do have a lot of electricity, and that, I'm surprised how much we used the air fryer actually. It was amazing for the summer because the oven like heats up this room so much, and that is not what you want when it's 40 degrees. And yeah, we have a toaster here, but we also have, I'll show you, it's covered in spiderwebs because we haven't had to use it yet this year. This is like a camping toaster that we can make toast on the gas. And yeah, we have an air conditioning unit in here that also heats the room as well as cools it. So when we have the really sunny winter days here, we can also use the heating element of that because we've got, this gets full. So sometimes it's like, we've got spare electricity, let's use it, so we'll use the heater. So yeah, I think that's the thing we've kind of learned most over the last 5-6 years, is having the ideal and then having the backup. The other thing this powers is our water system. So we have a pump outside that pulls water from the well. We have 3 wells. The one up here by the house we've had cleaned and we've capped it, and that's our drinking water. So yeah, this runs the pump, which takes about 500 watts to run. But yeah, the water comes in through the pump. We have 2 filters outside for sediment and things like that because there's still like grit in the bottom of the well. And then that water goes to the cabin as well as into here. And then here we have a big filtration system. I think there's like 7 filters in this. This is with Waterdrop, who we've worked with previously. This isn't sponsored by them, but we use them. It's a brilliant system. It's worked really well for us. The water's really clean. It does like reverse osmosis. It has a UV filter, carbon filter, and then it also remineralizes the water, because that's a big problem with reverse osmosis, is you lose a lot of the good stuff that's in water. And then it has this very fancy, I feel like it's quite a funny our life sometimes is a very funny blend of like really basic systems and then really fancy advanced things. So yeah, we have this like electric touch tap and that you can adjust like how much water is coming out of it, and it tells us when the filters need changing. So yeah, I think getting drinking water was one of the biggest upgrades we made like 3 years ago, I think it is now. Because we used to have to go and collect our water from a spring or buy in bottled water. So yeah, that was a big change for us. And yeah, I really love doing these videos because I can see how much our lives have improved over the years, and that feels really rewarding. Another big thing for us was having enough power to get a fridge, because we lived for like 2 years without a fridge, and that was not easy. We had like this weird camping fridge. It was like you could power it with gas or electric, and it just never really worked, and the amount of cheese we lost because of that. And Iwan's happy because he can have proper cold beers now, and we can have ice cubes and ice cream. I think that's everything in this room that is like off-grid. I'll take you next then to the main cabin, which is where we sleep. It's a cabin we built out of pallets. It's so much better than I thought it would be. It feels like such a nice space now. Yeah, I'll take you over there. Actually, whilst I'm walking past it, made me think of it. One thing we get asked about is like bins and recycling, because well, in the UK, for example, your house, you have your own bin that gets picked up, and we are in a place where a bin lorry would not come to. Luckily here in Portugal, there is a system in which every village has all the bins, all the different recycling that you take your rubbish to. So we're just able to use our village bins, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm not sure what you would do if you were, say, in the UK off-grid and weren't able to use the usual bin system. I guess you would just go to the skip or something. I don't know. Let me know if that is you. What do you do? Right, let's go to the cabin. Joao is on the roof. Maybe I'll show you the heating of this first. Okay, we need to rebuild the cupboard for here. This is our diesel heater. But yeah, we ended up, I'm going to go inside actually because I'm really cold here. And this is currently on because Jack's napping inside, but this is our diesel heater. And this has worked so well for us this year. Let's go inside. Jack is just having a little sleep here still. He was due to wake up soon. This is where the diesel heater comes through the wall. We just have to drill a hole so the air vent can come in here. So nice and warm. It's such a dry heat. And we experimented over the years with different heat sources. So before we actually got the log burner in the kitchen, we had a gas heater, and it's only warm if you're like right in front of it. It won't really warm up a room. But we did have that then in our old cabin, which I'll take you into in a bit. That's now a shed space, and it was very small, so the gas heater would just about warm that up, but we couldn't sleep with it on or anything. It's a bit dangerous to sleep with gas on, and it's quite a wet heat, so it would create condensation in that room as well. And the winters, oh hi, and the winters here in Portugal are very humid, so you don't want to add more moisture. You want to tell them about the diesel heater? Just had to give Jack some post-nap TLC, but he's gone back to sleep. He has on today the cutest jumper I've ever seen in my life. I got it off of Vinted. I've been able to buy all his clothes secondhand. We've been really lucky with Jack in that so many of our friends have handed down clothes to us, especially the newborn clothes. And he's growing so fast. At 2 months he was already in 3 to 6 month clothes. Being able to get them so much cheaper off Vinted has been brilliant. There's just so many cute things on there. And I was just thinking then actually that one of the things that I think is also really important off-grid is your community. So not just with Jack and being able to get the clothes that we can then actually pass on back to our friends, but it's been a big thing of us learning what works best here for us. So for example, it was our friends Dan and Laura who have the channel The Origin Homestead that recommended to us the diesel heater, and I wish we had done this sooner in the old cabin instead of the gas heater. And yeah, we all just like learn from each other, share ideas. We've got friends that we've been able to lend one of our Bluetti power banks to. And yeah, I do just think it's not just about the systems and the products that you have, but it's, yeah, community is really important. And it's funny, the other day it was really dark and rainy and we were at the petrol station and the guy at the pump next to me stopped me and he was like, "Oh, you live off grid, right?" And I was like, "Oh no, have I got like mud on my face or olive leaves in my hair giving me away?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, when it's raining everyone's getting fuel for their generators." I was like, "Actually I'm getting diesel for the heater, but you're not wrong." I think there is just this sense of you're living a bit differently and you've got to figure everything out. So yeah, that's definitely been an important and wonderful thing of living off-grid. Has been, yeah, it brings you kind of closer to different people. I know it's not ideal to be using gas and diesel. Sometimes you just have to go with what can work best for you in your current circumstances, not what's the most ideal. The other thing we also have an air conditioning unit in here, which has been a godsend this summer, because I was very pregnant in the heat and this saved me. Hey, are you awake? I'll show you his jumper. I think it looks like Diogo. Yeah? Yeah, we also have the aircon unit in here, which when it's very sunny we can use the heater on that. It's not as effective as the diesel heater for heating this the room. But yeah, it works well too and can save us on diesel when we do have those beautiful sunny winter days and we have lots of power. When we don't have enough solar, then we do have a generator, petrol generator. We upgraded this year to a 7,000 watt generator because the system in the kitchen can take in quite a lot and we can power this one at the same time. So that takes a lot of wattage. But the thing we found is actually the extension cables can only take 3,000 watts. So we need to upgrade those as well. It's something I'd never considered before, is that actually the power cables you're using also have their limits. We need to upgrade that a little bit, but that's worked really well for us this winter. And again, with the Bluettis, we're not having to have the generator on for as long because we are filling up the batteries with them, so we still have the storage capacity for the electricity rather than having to run the generator to power everything. And then I normally, when we have the generator on, I'll run, say, the washing machine and cook dinner and things like that, so that we're maximising the use of the generator being on. Again, it goes back to that, you need the backup systems for everything. One thing people do keep suggesting to us is to get a wind turbine. I would love to experiment with that to see how it would work. We don't get a lot of wind here where we are. I know up the mountain where Nick and Andrea live, they get a lot more wind up there, but we're kind of like in a bit of a dip, so we don't get the really windy days, but it would be cool to see. You're very interested by something over there, aren't you? I think I might need to wait for Iwan to get back from physio to finish showing you the other things. I was going to show you the electrical setup we have in here. I think someone's going to keep interrupting me. Yeah? Hey? Just to quickly show you, we have the AC 200L power bank in the cabin with an extra battery, and we will be adding a second one too to increase the capacity of this power bank. We had the whole cabin professionally wired in and then just added a plug that we can plug into the Bluetti, and that powers everything in the cabin via different outlets, including the air conditioner and the lights. We have 2 solar panels on the roof, and we'd like to add a third one as the AC 200L can take in 1200 watts of solar power. And then, as I said, we can also charge this up with a generator when needed, and it can take in 2400 watts of AC input, so it charges up pretty quickly. The sun is trying to come out, which is very, very nice. So I thought I would pop out here to tell you about one of life's greatest luxuries that we have off-grid, is this washing machine that is again hooked up to our water system that's filtered through the well. It just comes in basically a hose pipe, and we have the extension lead going into the cabin to power that. And like getting drinking water, I think this was one of the biggest life upgrades for us, was getting a washing machine, because we used to have to go into town to do all our laundry and we'd save it all up over the week and then go do a big wash, and it's quite expensive and time consuming to do laundry. So yeah, this has been a big game changer, and we're also experimenting with reusable nappies for Jack now, so even more so necessary now. And if we are needing to use the generator, if electricity is low, I tend to then also put the washing machine on. And if I'm washing reusable nappies, I feel like that balances out the use of the fuel because we're saving plastic from the nappies. We also have out here, we've got a Bluetti AC 180, and this charges up Mo, our robotic lawnmower, which has been such a game changer, especially for Iwan, with time spent strimming. It's just funny, it's like another little character on the land, like having another pet, just seeing Mo doing his job. But yeah, again, like I was saying, the contrast of a very high-tech life, we have a robotic lawnmower, whereas the... Oh! You always use your claws. Whereas the other element of being off-grid that we always get questions of, and I never really think to cover this one, is our compost toilet. It's just the most simple. We've not really changed it much since we moved here. So yeah, I have a Trillino composting toilet in the cabin in the bathroom. We moved it inside in my last months of pregnancy, otherwise we just have an outside compost loo as well, basically a bucket and sawdust. And then we have 3 big compost bays that all goes into, and we tend to fill one each year. And after it's decomposed for a couple of years, we then add that compost to our trees. What else? Simply just in terms of hot water, we just have a regular gas boiler on the side of the cabin here that goes into the bathroom. Having a hot bath is a luxury that I didn't think I would get to have for many years. There's one more area I wanted to show you guys that's to do with our off-grid systems, and that is our old cabin. I think I'm too dark now, aren't I? Hang on. Okay, that should be better. Yeah, I just wanted to show you one other area, the old bedroom, our shed, now shed, that will eventually come down because it's the first thing we built and it's not in a good state, but it's working fine as a shed. But yeah, we have one of Bluetti's newer models in there, and as they are sponsoring today's video, I just wanted to quickly let you know that they have also offered a discount code. If you did want to get one, you can get 5% off with our code, which I'll pop up on the screen and will be linked in the description below. Yeah, we've had the Bluetti products for over 5 years. It was one of the first power banks we bought ourselves before we even worked with them, and they make our lives here a lot more comfortable. If you wanted to check them out, I'll leave them in the description below, and I will go and show you one last thing. I think it's the last thing. Okay, this room is a little bit chaotic, very dark. Let me prop this open. This is the other item that feels like a luxury to have off-grid, and we got this about 6 months ago. It's a big freezer. And yeah, we wanted to prepare lots of food for postpartum and early parenthood. Yeah, we saved a lot of our tomatoes. In fact, I might take some out to make some soup whilst it's raining the rest of this week. This room is chaos. I cannot believe we slept in here for 4 years. It gets so cold in here, even with the walls are insulated, but they're quite thin. And yeah, we used to put the gas heater on to warm it up before we went to sleep, but then we'd have to turn it off and you'd wake up in the morning and you could just see your breath. It was so cold. So in here we have a Bluetti Pioneer range, and these ones are made for cold weather. It's been perfect for in here because it gets so cold. It holds its charge. So yeah, we just have that rigged up to a solar panel, and that keeps our freezer running, and I thought we would struggle to keep this going over the winter. It's not been a problem. I think that's it. If I've missed anything, or there's any questions you have about our off-grid setup and how we live like this, then leave them in the comments and I'll try and cover them in the future. But I think I've got everything, and yeah, I can't believe how comfortable we are. I think our next plans are kind of to streamline things a bit better, because it is a bit chaotic here sometimes with how we have things set up, because sometimes it's just like a rush. We need to resolve this in the simplest way rather than the most logical way. I'm really happy with where we've got to, and it's only going to get better, which is amazing. Right, I don't think we're going to get any land work done as I was hoping to this afternoon, because it is getting very dark out there. In case we don't, and that is the end of the video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this has been, informative or interesting. But yeah, I thought it would be a good little update to do. See you in the next one. Bye.
Born over a fault line, bad teeth and worse habits. wheels in a trailer. If you want it, you should have it.